Whenever I'm working with students and I know that there's a shift in the energies, and I try to give across what it is that's happening, there's another part of me that's equally understanding and always in a pictorial or imagery fashion as metaphors. That's the language that speaks higher than words itself. So three ideas have come through for the balancing of the masculine and the feminine, which is certainly something that's really prevalent at the moment. I have been feeling inside of me that insecure and petty masculine idea is falling away from the feminine, so that the new vessel or new cup of the masculine is to be formed, and the new cup can hold the feminine in its proper fashion. And three things that came through for me to help you understand in your own personal life how you can make those adjustments to your own masculine energy and understand what this means, because it can get very confusing even if you read a ton of books on the topic. So the first idea that came through to me, the analogy was a bus. Now, change as an energy is going to happen. It's inevitable. You cannot stop change. It's inevitable. You can't do anything to stop it, arrest it, change it, nothing. And I liken change as to a bus whose wheels are turning, and you can't stop the wheels, you can't speed them up, you can't slow them down. This bus is traveling, and it's traveling regardless of you. So it is moving whether you're on it or not. If you're on it, there's not much you can do. Change is inevitable. So the way I like to describe the masculine energy regarding the bus scenario is that the only thing that you can do if you're on that bus and allowing change to affect your life is to intend a direction. And intending a direction is the masculine part of you. Now, if you have a look at it, it's very much like Da Vinci's picture of the finger of God. It's like really meh. It's like not much. So the masculine part of us intends direction, and that's all they do. And the masculine lets go. Change is inevitable. The bus is going whether you like it or not. All the masculine inside of you has to set the intent and step back. So, for instance, change is inevitable, and I want something to change in my life. I want something to happen. I want to look forward to something. I want to feel a certain way, even if it's just I want to feel joy, or it's I want a business deal to happen, or I want to be able to access this. You set the intent. The bus is going to automatically, inevitably head in that direction because you've now, with a masculine, set the intent. It's done. So masculine steps aside now. It's done its job. Its job is really, really small. That's all it has to do is that one thought, that action. Thought is action, right? So what happens now is you travel and you got to allow, you'll see landscapes go past you as you're in the bus, heading in the direction that you've set. Now, what sometimes happens is that something comes across your path and the bus pulls over at like a hot dog stand and says, and buy a hot dog. So in other words, on this journey to change, to reach the destination that your masculine has put out there may be little stops along the way. And you'll stop at a hot dog stand. So you'll buy the hot dog. Now, here's what's interesting. These little stops is where it starts to get a little bit complicated because you're meant to buy the hot dog, eat it, and why? The simplicity of the journey is very important because you're hungry. The universe, the bus, they know you're hungry, eat the hot dog. But this is what human beings do with that. Once they've set their intent and they take the journey and allow it to unfold, something comes across their path where they need to take the tiniest little bit of action. And what do human beings do? They go and buy the hot dog, and then they sit and they inspect the hot dog itself. They see it's a red one. They check if it's meat. They see if it's vegetarian. They have a look at the length of the bun. They see what type of butter's on there. They go, what must I do with this hot dog? I've now have got a hot dog and I'm sitting on a bus. People complicate by the thinking, the masculine side. Now, what must I do? Word simple, eat it, you're hungry. So as we go on the journey, once we've set the intent, we're meant to just allow things to unfold. And we may make these little stops. A newspaper article can come across your path and you must just hand your CV or resume in. Simple. Don't have any other thoughts. Just hand your resume in. That's it, and leave it. And the bus keeps rolling. Change is inevitable. It keeps rolling. The wheels keep turning. You've set your intent. What sometimes human beings do is two other things. They stop the bus. You know the term, stop the bus, right? Now, usually we want to stop the bus if we're going in the wrong direction. We want to stop the bus. We want to make sure that change happens in the right direction towards the destination that we've set. We stop the bus, and what do? We spin our wheels. Now, when you metaphorically spin your wheels, you're trying to get there faster, get there quicker. You can't wait. You don't have the patience. You want this journey to get there so fast that you don't even enjoy the journey. You don't allow the mechanisms of change to happen as the landscapes are going past you. They're changing you. Position means everything. So if I'm on the top of a hill, I'm one type of person. But if I'm down in the valley, I'm a different type of person. So when we have these landscapes going past us, we're changing into a different kind of person. So when we spin our wheels, we want to get there faster than what we're capable without allowing the change to take place. Now that change is very interesting. Because eventually, if we allow it to unfold, which is the feminine inside of us, we allow this third component. Our masculine has set the direction. The feminine is allowing it to unfold and making the adjustments and doing what's necessary as we go. The third component is change is inevitable. The bus will get you there. You can't build the bus. You can't spin the wheels. It's going to turn. So you allow the component of change to get you to the intended destination that you set. So that's the one example of the masculine that may make it easier for you to now transmute this. The second one that I want to bring through is the analogy of the spinning top. And the spinning top is interesting because when you spin that spinning top, there's one point that touches earth, touches the surface, and that is the masculine point. When that tiny action, as in the Adam in the finger of God painting, when the tiny part, just setting the intent, it's such a microscopic part, the masculine inside of us. When it just sets its intent, it's in such divine alignment, and you spin that top, the spinning is the change that takes place. Now, you can see the movie Inception, and you're quite aware that on the surface, that spinning top is capable of wobbling and falling over, because in this masculine, distorted sort of masculine world, we always topple, our life always topples, things always topple over, because instead of the masculine being that microscopic part of us, and it doesn't matter what body you have, this isn't every single person on earth, being that tiny little intent part, we give it way too much responsibility and we make it responsible for way more. And that's what makes a spinning top wobble over. it can remain spinning indefinitely if it's in complete alignment. Now have a look at a spinning top. You've got the top part that seems to come from the high dimensions or from heaven, that meets the masculine part, meets the feminine part, and then of course that holds all the power. And then the bottom part, the masculine, touches earth. It can spin indefinitely if that is held in alignment. So in the movie Inception, the minute we left, the architects, they left the normal masculine, feminine, normal life where things go out of whack and they're very wobbly and they start to go into the altered states, the spinning top keeps spinning indefinitely. So it's to train ourselves to get into alignment, to have an intention, to let it go, to allow the change and the spinning to bring it to pass. Second analogy. Third analogy is the pyramid shifting into the opposite and the gap between the 2 points. Now let's assume that those points of the 2 pyramids, this at the top here and this pyramid here at the bottom here, are the 2 masculine parts. It's that tiny little point is the masculine. That's it. One dot. The rest is the feminine, the universe, the goddess, right? Now, you've got to really get away from your body with this one, because it doesn't matter what body you have this potential and you have this potential regardless of the body you wear, right? So in this world, masculine has been set up like this. Now, that point at the top there, which is the masculine, is sitting on the feminine. So we could say the subduing of the feminine, which is the rest of the triangle, suppressed, subdued, squashed, kept down, all so that the masculine part can sit right on top and be the highest, the biggest, the best, the most. But the story with this part of the masculine is that it comes at the suppression and the expense of the rest of itself. The feminine is suppressed and kept down so that the masculine can be cock of the rock. All right? When we reverse that and we put it the other way, again, we have the spinning top. The masculine is the smallest part of each of us. It's simply a thought. It's an intent. That is our masculine part. Now, when we reverse that the other way, the masculine is in its place. It's the smallest part. And all we have to do is release that intent from earth towards the greater, the feminine, the rest of the abundance of the universe, the feminine, right? And allow it to go out into the universe and to gather momentum. And then it comes back down through, and there's this experience on earth. But when we set the kingdom up like this, and the masculine wants to do, take control, make it happen, and take care of every single step that exists, it's so out of whack. And the inner feminine within every single person then feels suppressed, subdued. And of course, there is a very big difference between a feminine that's sitting under the tyranny of an inner masculine like this, and a feminine that's completely free to be as big and powerful as it needs to be. This is in every single person. This balance has to take place. It doesn't matter about the body. You know, you get females on earth that have a female body, that have an out of whack masculine. They're coming from here. Females with a female body can be like this. But there's males that can be, from this point of view, so in alignment. The inner female is so powerful. Because remember, the inner female is about support. It's about that beingness. We have to take action by having a thought and then be. It's so simple when you look at it from these analogies. Now, the distortion with the masculine comes from a world that's set up like this. There are those that have found their way to the top of the pile, and the rest are the suppressed or the subdued. So that's why on a global level, this is all now shifting, and this is now going to go belly up. Now, what happens to those that are still caught in this one when the world and the energy of the world goes belly up? Well, when that new vessel that is formed, which is the masculine, so that the liquid or the goddess or the feminine can pour in so that it can be experienced, when that vessel falls away, a new vessel is going to be formed. And it's going to be appropriate to the feminine energy that has been pouring into this reality for quite a long time. And this may allude to when Christ, actually, in the Bible, spoke about the new and the old wineskins and the new wine pouring into old skins. Very simple and similar analogy. So go work with this. Go look at your buzz. Have you set your intent and let it go? And then just enjoy the journey and watch. You may take little stops. Do this, eat that hot dog, do that, and keep it simple. Don't overthink it. The minute you overthink a single thing, you've picked up the masculine, you've reversed this to this, and now you are responsible for an entire kingdom to make it happen. And that's why you often feel yourself unequipped to pull life off, because the wrong part of you is in control of the journey. Allow change to happen. It's inevitable. It's wonderful. Go for the ride. And of course, the challenge to every single one of you is in the masculine setting of the intent or the destination. Make it doable, achievable, acceptable. Make it something that is not such a lofty ideal that you will not see the fruits of it in this lifetime. Play with this, and it can grow, and set these intents and allow them to unfold in your life. This is how you're going to steer your future. Day by day, you're going to set an intent about you and watch it over time with change in the inevitable unfold. I hope this helps you at this time, and I will speak and see you all soon again. And, mosey on into www.inspiresphere.org. We do a lot of training in there. We've got over 60 programs of incredible, life-changing stuff. Enjoy your day.